This girl just looks enough like Millie Bobby Brown.
What girl?
The girl that's playing, like, whose body it is when she's little. Just shave her head.
It wasn't bothering me. This one, I feel like we're not spending time on it.
Yeah.
Because we morphed her up.
Yeah.
Plus, now I'm gonna defend it because there's so many other bald children in that room that it would throw me. I would be like, wait, is that what number
fair.
is that?
That's fair.
What the issue is that it's the uncanny.
Yeah.
If it were faker, I think we'd have a better time accepting it.
Sure.
But it's too close that we're like,
I don't know what's happening, but I don't like it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Stranger Things, Season 4, Episode 7.
The Massacre at Hawkins Lab.
They did earn it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pat myself in the back too much. But I did say in like one of our earlier coverages where I said something about like if it was in fact Elle who killed all those kids.
Yeah.
Because something about, I was like, we didn't see it happen.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're totally right. Because also it's like, it just doesn't seem in her nature to just lose it like that.
I believe absolutely. However, she was younger and being experimented on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could believe that she was in a fractured state of existence. So, on that note.
You want to start in Russia?
No. Well.
So, Jamie Campbell Bower has been in a handful of episodes.
He's the orderly.
And his orderly name is Peter Ballard.
And he is Henry Creel.
Yes.
Henry Creel, who is Victor Creel's son, who is the man in the mansion in the 50s.
Yeah.
He was already being experimented on by Papa when they moved into the house?
No.
Well, he said it was the doctor he was trying to get away from.
Because the mother was trying to send him away. Because the mother knew that he was the one causing the problems in the house.
So was he just magic? Where did his magic come from?
I guess, yes.
I think maybe he was already being tested on.
That was not clear.
It wasn't.
It's possible.
That's why I was like, huh? Yeah. I think he was already being tested on. They moved into this house because he kept talking about how he wanted to expose them for what they were. Yeah. And like why else would he show Victor Creel the baby burning in the crib if Victor wasn't already involved in testing on children?
The father?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because
we want to ask Will?
No, I feel like I don't think that's been made clear yet, because when Victor was like getting taken by Vecna, he saw World War II. So like,
well, where do you think all this shit started?
Well, of course, but it's obviously eugenics and shit. But no, I don't know. I don't know that they've made that entirely clear yet.
Okay, so maybe.
Yeah,
I did see the climax twice.
Okay.
So that was my understanding. So then Henry Creel did all that stuff. His dad thought a demon did it. When he passed out, it was because he overexerted himself.
Yeah.
And they took him to the doctors.
Mm-hmm. It's just like what happened with Elle, where they told her mother that she was born dead. So basically they told Victor that his son died a week later.
So he either was one or became one at this point.
Well, he got the tattoo after that.
Okay.
After Dr. Brenner took him.
And then he was the first because he said that Dr. Brenner tried to recreate me, blah, blah, blah. And at some point he got a job as an orderly there?
He got that implant in his neck that was suppressing his powers because I think Dr. Brenner was scared of him.
So since he was already there and they couldn't just like let him back out in the world, they're like, well, you work here now.
Yeah.
Okay. And so all the stuff that 11 was doing in these last 2 or 3 episodes were memories.
It was she was having to unlock that memory in order to...
So this has already happened to her. She's just remembering it now.
Yeah, because
nothing was new. We're just seeing.
Yeah, it was new to us. Yeah.
Okay. It was so well... It sounds convoluted. It was convoluted, but it was so well done.
Well, especially because I loved that it was cutting in... Like, as Henry was telling the story to 11, we were also following it with Nancy.
So Henry, I cannot remember if I said this in one of our episodes or not, but I did accidentally spoil it for me and you. It was just so well plotted, we didn't realize it was spoiled. I didn't realize
how spoiled
but
it was.
I read that Jamie Campbell Bower was Vecna. So, so 11, after he killed all the children, 11 sent his ass packing.
Yeah.
And is the assumption that that was the first gate to... Yeah. Okay, so she technically... This is her fault.
We knew that in season 1.
We did? Okay. Yeah. I don't
in the very last episode, she tells Mike, she's like, it's my fault. I'm the one that opened the gate.
Well, I mean, I believe she believed that, but it's like... Yeah.
I just believed it. I believed it was an accident, but I believe she did it.
And so, at that point, Henry Creel /1/orderly Peter or whatever Ballard became Vecna.
Yeah.
So that is why he has 4 credits on Wikipedia.
Sure is.
And so he was showing Nancy all this because she has trauma from Barb. And even though she wasn't showing any of the signs that the other people were, will allow it because she was in the Upside Down.
Well, and she was about to pass from the Upside Down into the real world. And so wormhole kind of.
He kind of he was talking to her like she was like with purpose. Like, did he choose her because she's the smart one or?
Maybe.
I've been getting some Nancy is the key vibes.
Oh, okay.
In the season. Low key.
Yeah.
Not high key.
Nancy's great.
Nancy is low key, the low key vibe. So he was explaining his grand plan to her in that, in the mansion. Okay. Cool. Well, to rewind, in Russia.
Yeah.
From Russia with love.
From Russia with extreme prejudice. Okay, so Murray faked their way in. The warden's giving them a tour, and it's time for the monster to feed or whatever.
They did that cliche that I love, where he's like, "You're not that guy. I heard that guy was crazy, and you're even crazier." And I just I love how they layer the cliches in.
It's very funny. There was another one in this episode another moment where I was like, not every scene with the teens needs to open with a joke. They get into Nancy's house in the Upside Down, and Robin's like, "Oh, I guess the maid's got the week off," and I'm like, "Waka waka."
No, that one I was like,
what are we doing?
I was like, I have a note.
Yeah, that's my note. So basically, they get in there. It's just in time for this fight with Hopper and Enzo and the Demogorgon, and it's I don't know, it kills everyone except the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they were in a gulag and all, but rip those other guys. Yeah. The Demogorgon was plowing through them very wetly. Very wetly.
The captions, y'all.
And I just forgot how hellish it was.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I feel like I just watched it all, but I don't remember it being so fast. Not implying that it is generally a slow-moving creature, but it was whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Well, this one, again, is in a Russian gulag. It might have leveled up, but wasn't it really awful when Sean Astin was being eaten by, they were dogs, right?
Those were the little ones, and it was pretty hellish. And this one also is an evolution of it, because it's way more humanoid.
I was thinking.
Because at the end of season 3, we see it stand up on, its human legs, and, do this with its human arms. But anyway, so Joyce is there, Hopper's got the fire, and he puts it on a spear, and then he just straight up doesn't stab it in the head the whole entire time.
Well, he spent an hour and 47 minutes trying to light it.
Yeah.
While everyone else was being systematically
just
plowed.
Murdered. But they then Joyce and Murray are able to get the doors open, so Hopper and Enzo get through the doors, and then the Demogorgon almost gets through the doors, and then Hopper finally stabs it, and then Enzo is like, "Oh, from one prison into another," and then the doors open again, and then
I thought for sure we were losing Enzo.
Me too,
because I've grown attached.
Yeah. And then Joyce and Hopper spend 4,000 years hugging one another and not running to escape the Russian prison.
I have died every day waiting for you.
And then that is basically the last thing that we saw in Russia.
Okay.
They're hopefully obviously leaving.
Considering this was 2 episodes worth.
Yeah.
Because it broke down to 2, it was 100 minutes. I was about to be like, it was almost 50 minutes and then an additional 50 minutes.
It was an hour and 40 minutes. Fucking Jesus Christ.
So considering it was twice as long, it was surprisingly compact from like a actual, like, well, it was culminations of stories.
Yeah.
Because we had our teens in the Upside Down. Mm-hmm. This shit, I keep saying it, but it's because it's true. This shit was so cinematic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was so much just like, oh, I loved it. I love them riding their bikes through it. I love them. They saved Steve. That was amazing.
So amazing.
Them coming in and fighting those things.
Yeah.
And then Steve went at that thing like he was Robert Pattinson and it was a seagull. Like,
and he went, I mean, incredible.
I love it. We kept his titties out the whole episode.
Because he even got like a jean vest.
It was better.
It was still open.
But then they gave him the bandage, so it was almost like, it was almost fetishier. Oh, I loved it. And yeah, Steve and Nancy. I'm here for Steve and Nancy.
Sure. Why not?
Eddie, it's like old friends. I'm like, Eddie!
Okay, I would like to formally and 100% retract my initial reaction to Eddie. I would die for him. I love him. He's great.
Also, it didn't have a ton of consequence. Well, I mean, it did in that Nancy was no longer packing heat.
Yeah.
But the Upside Down is stuck at the moment of inception?
When Will got like taken.
Okay.
But if this timeline is to be believed, the gate was open for 4 additional years before Will got taken. All of that flashback stuff with 11 is taking place in 1979.
Yeah. The only reason why we're chronicling it is because they gave it to us.
They gave it to us, and I'm a little... It's like doing my head in a little. So...
I'm assuming we're going somewhere with that information, though.
I should hope, yeah. I guess because it does kind of make sense, because... And then eventually, that is the room where the huge, like, stories tall gate is that the Thessal Hydra is trying to get through. So they had to, like, build... Okay... The like years make sense now because they had to build.
Had to grow.
They had to build kind of like away from that room, and they had like this. Okay,
I trust them over us. I mean,
also yes,
we have been burned by productions before.
Yeah, this one I'm not.
Danny sort of forgot about the Scorpions.
Yeah. No.
And if you're recurring, if you've been watching us and you're not new here, you'll know how much I love fantasy, and I love that we got just little nuggets of fantasy, them playing with the light.
Oh yeah, like, the light bright and the actual lights, and like poor Holly, by the way.
Which one's the sister?
Wheeler's little sister. I'm just like, they're like constantly taking her shit, and like it's I don't know.
Erica
funny.
gave her Skittles as compensation. Yeah, it makes me wonder if because she was properly in this episode, it makes me wonder if she's gonna do anything.
Oh, maybe
coming up in the next season or whatever, because she'll be 30 by the time season 5 comes out.
I swear to God, if it's 3 years again, I'm gonna be so annoyed.
But no, I just loved the like them, especially when Nancy was like spelling out the stuff, and I love horror. Everybody loves horror, but I feel like fantasy is just like the ugly stepchild of genre. Well, and it's like, let's bring a little bit more.
I think that's why we like the Duffers and Mike Flanagan so much, is because they both. Well,
like we said, with Mike Flanagan is whimsy.
Yeah. Well, this is very straight up science fiction, but I think the entire time it has had an element of fantasy to it. Mm-hmm. And I think
of course.
Yeah. I think it's
but I'm like, give me something pretty. Something. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
So using the light bright, I mostly think the light stuff makes sense. It's more that I allow it. I'm sort of like, okay, I'm not gonna draw a line there. So they communicate with Dustin and at all at the Wheeler house where Sadie Sink Max was letting them have it. Remember they like took her in to interrogate her?
Yeah.
And she did not waver.
No, she didn't waver. And also the stupid deputy again is being so fucking awful. And he's like calls them little pigs, the kids. And I was like,
I'm ready for the parents to catch wise. I feel like they're getting there.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really experienced the supernatural of it all yet.
Only Joyce, which is, I mean,
and
I feel like if okay, here's the thing is I almost feel like the parents can't find out, because if Karen Wheeler knew about this, it would be over in 3 seconds flat.
As in she would handle it? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so in case you're wondering, our obsession with Karen Wheeler goes back to season 1. Because the actress Cara Buono is like friends with the Duffers. And so when we were watching the first season, we were taken out by the and Cara Buono.
Yeah.
Which, as far as crediting goes, that's like a...
it's a very... Because like now it's and with Paul Reiser and Matthew Modine.
And so for a second we were like, huh?
Who the fuck is because I only knew her from like a short run on Mad Men before this.
And so we were like, she's the grand dame of this world. And then that's when we realized that she was like a friend of theirs and they like wrote this role for her. And so we just sort of like all hail our queen.
The other thing that we liked so much about her in season 1 is that there was seemingly this force field at the bottom of the stairs in the Wheeler house where it's like, one of her kids would come in like sobbing, run up the stairs, and she would be like, Nancy, and then stop. And she like she couldn't keep going upstairs.
And I've liked, because it's almost like a reverse where it's like they've made sure to like peddle her with like mundane plots while all of this crazy shit is happening around. And so I think that juxtaposition has been very fun and kept this entire production's feet on the ground.
Absolutely.
And so I do love how we did get, finally all of the parents together, which I mean, I think that matters.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have a duty to tell your story and tell your story as efficiently as possible, but also to make all of it feel connected and all of it feel part of a greater whole, I think is also a great accomplishment.
I agree.
And so there was the scene where the kids were like biking off and the parents like ran out. So I feel like they're catching wise a little bit.
I would love for them to find out something, because right now I think my biggest complaint, because Lucas and Erica's parents have never really been a presence, but Dustin's mom has been a relatively large presence, and all she does right now is cry and yell, Dusty, where are you going? And I'm just sort of like, I'd love her to be able to do something else.
I would love for her to find out that A, her son is a badass hero, and or B, give her a chance to save
someone,
a portion of the day.
Something.
So I have my fingers crossed for that. And to be honest, I'm a little cautiously optimistic we might get it.
Maybe. So basically the point of that is that they realized through the lights that everywhere there's been a murder, there is also now a gate. And so they, the kids in the real world and the teens in the Upside Down bike over to Eddie's trailer. And they basically can just see each other like through the ceiling.
That was really fun.
Very cool.
That's one of the more, well, you just recently rewatched the whole series, so you could tell me, but it's one of the more literal interpretations of the Upside Down I think we've gotten.
Well, it was like all the stuff in the field when they went to go save Hopper, I think in season 2, all the stuff in the field, they had like dig down to like pull Hopper back through. But yeah, it is upside down. I mean,
I just really loved the
physics of it.
And the way that they filmed it and they showed it like a couple different ways. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But in climbing through, that's where Nancy fell into
the
Vecna's curse and
right into Steve's pool,
empty pool where Barb is still rotting. And
I mean, this is all in Nancy's imagination, but like let's let the Barb dummy rest.
That thing's putting in hours.
Yeah, right?
Shove some more slugs in there. So she climbed out and into Vecna's house and that's where we started the episode.
Yep.
So, is there anything else? I think that's actually pretty...
Yeah, I mean...
No news on the angry mob.
Huh? No news on the angry mob, and no news on Mike, Will, Jonathan, and Argyle.
Oh yeah, they weren't even in this.
They are like on their way to Nevada to get Elle, and now that Elle has like broken through, I think it'll be like good timing. Yeah.
Okay.
What do we think about Dr. Brenner? Yeah. No, I mean obviously thumbs down, but like what do we think he's going to be punished?
I don't know.
Yeah. Cause like I almost was like, I'll bet he sacrifices himself too, but then I can't believe we put him on a similar plane with Billy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we can redeem him the same way.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then, wait. Which one's Brenner?
Matthew Modine.
Okay. Then who's Paul Reiser?
Dr. Owens.
Owens. I like Owens.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene,
Although
I can't remember if it was...
still shady.
I can't remember if it was this episode or the previous, but he did fully admit where he was like, I had faith in you that this was going to work, and now I'm like... He acknowledged the shystiness of his actions.
Yeah.
So
he just did trick her, and it wasn't very nice.
No.
But yeah, that's basically where we have it. I think...
Is the implication that she has her power back?
Well, she broke through that memory and she like remembered and yeah. So presumably yes. I would.
Stay tuned
hope.
for July 1st.
Yeah, Max is still listening to Kate Bush because I guess they're still trying to like keep it
and Nancy doesn't know that trick. The music trick. I guess Steve would know it.
No, Nancy 100%. Nancy is the one that found out. Nancy and Robin are the ones that found out.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a song.
She doesn't have a song and she doesn't have headphones, but in the preview,
I'm less worried because she was just like fine in the preview for next.
That's it. Like I think Steve and then someone else stayed with her in the Upside Down, and they were or got her and they were fighting. Mm-hmm. So I'm not super worried. I think now also that like all our pieces are in the places they need to be to converge. I think I want to say by the midpoint of episode 8, we're gonna all be back in Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
So
the rumor is that there's only like 2 episodes in part 2, but they're long.
They're both like movie length.
Okay.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I think the 9th episode is like 2.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, we loved this.
Yes.
We hope you loved it. And like and subscribe and come back and see us in July if you want to watch us talk about the last 2.
And join us next weekend for the first 3 episodes of The Boys and then weekly thereafter. Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff right now. So just keep your eye out.
I know you want to see me and Rachel talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Or me and Rachel talk about Barry. Come on.
That one's more. They actually might want to watch that.
Me and Rachel talk about Barry. It's amazing.
So, bye.
Bye.